Hey guys, Dina here with a brand new video all about lettering. Yay, lettering! As some of you may not know, I make a monthly lettering workbook series called Lettering Adventures. This is where every single month I create a new digital workbook for you guys to go ahead and print out at home and start to practice and learn every single letter of the alphabet, A to Z. This month we got double the letters for you, 52 letters. That means I'm showing you all the capitals and the lowercase too of today's new style called Dark Carnival. Ha! This style is actually a crossbreed between Victorian lettering and black lettering, and I Frankensteined them to make a baby. This style is pretty complicated, but it's actually a lot easier for some of you because there's so many reference points with the spurs and the serifs and the stems and all the curls that I actually think it's pretty easy to copy, but it might seem a little intimidating to those of you who might have just got started with lettering. But in today's video, I'm actually going to walk you through the ABCs of this new workbook that I have available at patreon.com/lettershop, or head on over to my website, lettershop.com/letteringworkbooks to go ahead and check out all 19 issues we've created so far. Just to tell you a little bit more about this workbook, guys, we have 52 letters with step-by-step illustrations. I like to go over some of the basic style features in each workbook. We're talking about like, okay, this style is more condensed, meaning it's taller than it is wide, which is something definitely that's very important for this particular style, for it to look a little bit more older. We like to put curves at the terminals. Now the terminals are the ends of our letters, so we have these kind of curly cues coming out. So it's pretty much, it's gonna end in a curl or it's gonna end in a serif, like this A here. Then we have a varied weight letters, just meaning that these letters have two different weights. So as you go down, the lines get thick, and then as they go up, they get thin. And then finally, we're adding something called spurs, which are these little bitty kind of nooks that are along the side of our letters. We're actually adding a couple different kinds of spurs to these letters, but just to kind of give you an idea, we do want to make sure that when we do spurs, we put them parallel with each other and have them aligned. So it does make sense when you're putting all of these letters into a sentence or a phrase that you give yourself an additional guide in order to mark where those spurs go. So this is a glimpse into the alphabet that I'm actually gonna be showing you guys. That's a lot of letters that we're gonna be able to go over. But today, again, we're just going through A, B, and C. For those of you who don't have a workbook of your very own to explore, something like just a basic piece of paper and a ruler and a pencil is all you need to get started. So let's go over our guides first. So for really good practice, I like to use just the height of a ruler for my guides. We mark the top and then we mark the bottom. Now this style has a couple extra guides. We want to add another guide just slightly below that bottom line. And then we want to add another guide right about 3/4 up, which I would say, I don't know how straight this is going to be, right about here. This is our cap height. And then we actually have two baselines right down here. And so if we have a capital letter, the capital letter, like the capital letter A, is going to top out at the cap height and bottom out at the baseline. But if we're doing a lowercase a, it's going to only take up this much space and it won't go any further than below this point. So just some important things to note. Okay, so with this workbook, we really want to be able to add these styles to memory. We're not just trying to learn how to make really cool styles. We also want to go ahead and figure out how we can actually just draw from our beautiful imaginations. Every single workbook, I always have step 1, trace every step, where I actually show you each step you can take in order to create that letter. And then I also have step 2, which is copy each letter, using all the steps you just learned on the previous pages to go ahead and draw this letter. We're going to be focusing on just this page for today's tutorial. Are you ready? Yay! So there's a couple different ways we can go ahead and start attacking this letter. You can go ahead and do the entire skeleton. You can go ahead and do it piece by piece. I'm just going to show you the easiest way for me to go ahead and draw these letters that might differ a little bit from what's in the workbook. Are you ready? Okay, so with this one, I'm going to start with the thickest part, which is on the down side. Another important thing to remember about the letter A is remember any line that goes up is thin and any line that goes down is thick. So since the right side is going down, that's why it's thicker than the left side. So we're gonna go ahead and just draw a straight line all the way from the top and all the way to the bottom, just doing the capital A. And then we're gonna go ahead and right about here, go ahead and do a diagonal. And then we're gonna kind of do a swirl, which we're gonna be really careful with, because we wanna make sure that this curl is being seen through this stem right here. Then we can go ahead and add our little curly curl along the top. And then we have the skeleton. Now let's go ahead, add some weight to that curl. Our terminals all have that kind of curl to them. Add a little bit of weight here. We can add a serif just by drawing straight lines. And then you want to connect those straight lines up into the stem. And then we also have our spurs along the sides. And I'm always a big fan of coloring these in, so that way I can better visualize the thins from the thicks. And there you have it, a beautiful uppercase A. Now let's move on to the B. For this B, I think I'll show you both the lowercase and the uppercase. So let's go ahead and start from the left-hand side and just draw a straight line. Just mark our thickness of our stem here. And this one we're gonna do more like a piece by piece action. So I'm gonna mark the thickness and width between these two thick black lines by just adding a little line here. And then I'm noticing that this bottom bowl of the B is actually a little bit further out than this first bowl. So that tells me that this line should go a little bit in the middle of this one. These are just guides for now. And again, we want to make sure that these all have the same width. Now I can go ahead and add this curl, where it kind of hooks into that piece that I just put. It goes straight, and then it curls outward. It kind of hooks into that second piece, hooks out again, and then curls into itself. And we got ourselves a B. Go ahead and finish it off with any last minute additions that we forgot. Now, every single time you draw these letters, they're always going to look different from mine. The point isn't like how to draw a font. It's really just trying to figure out how to get the same kind of aesthetic when drawing a piece on your own. So this B is obviously a little bit different from this one because it's a little bit wider than I probably would have liked, but it still goes ahead and looks like that same style. All right, let's go ahead and do that lowercase b. We're gonna go ahead and make sure we only go to this line down here. Gonna do it piece by piece. So you wanna go ahead and mark your width there. Have this guy kind of curl into itself. And it hooks out before it connects. Turns into a bowl, and then we just have the serif at the end here. And then also you can go ahead and add your spurs and fill it in. Okay, just one more letter to go. The letter C, we got a really big bowl, and this is a letter that I personally mess up all the time. So we want to start off, try to get that kind of skeleton swirl in there. And then we want to go ahead and put this guy in there too, to make sure it's balanced. This guy and this guy should pretty much be aligned, so that's something to keep in mind. Go ahead, as it goes down, the line gets thick, and then as it comes out, it gets thin. That's pretty good. Then we just have it, this hook right here, coming out the top. Fill that out. Now usually when I'm inking, I'll go ahead and I'll go over, because see, I'm just using basically the thinness of my pencil. But if I was going in and filling this in with ink, I would probably just thicken up those pieces just a little bit. And then we have the lowercase c, which looks kind of crazy. Just draw a straight line for the left-hand side. We do kind of like a wave for the top, and then a wave for the bottom. And then we just have a spur and these hooks on either side, and then fill that in. there you have it. We have the ABCs of our newest style that I hope you guys really enjoyed watching. Yay! All right, I know that was a little short tutorial. I hope it got you excited about this style. We're really trying hard to create even better video content. So if you guys have an idea or a struggle that you're trying to deal with right now as a creative, please leave us a comment below, and I would love to give you some extra pointers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye. All the hands, goodbye, goodbye.